Hi, and welcome to the History of Rotary Scout Reservation. I'm your host, Ed Keelan, and I'll be taking you through a history of camp. In this episode, we take a look at the 1990s. 1990 marked the last year of the Governor Clinton Council. As such, some final program enhancements were done in that year prior to the merger with Saratoga and Sir William Johnson Councils. During the 70s and 80s, rappelling had been an afternoon program, often run immediately after lunch by Rifle Range Director John Tutine. The program was run at the Cliffs. In 1990, a climbing rappelling tower was built, and Janet Keelan was sent to National Camping School to become RSR's first COPE director. Originally, plans were in the works to purchase and transport the Berlin Wall for that purpose, but President Reagan's speech put the kibosh on that deal. The COPE program consisted of the tower and a few low-course events that were located behind the camp office. While many of us worked on the tower, Ralph LaBarge was the key person as far as construction went. The low-course events included a nitro crossing, the wild Woodkey, a kingpin, a spider's web, a cargo net, and the all-aboard and artesian beam events shown here. 1990 also marked the closing of Camp Saratoga and Woodworth Lake. As RSR camp director, I benefited greatly from the addition of several excellent staff members who came to RSR from these camps. Later in the 90s, Schenectady and Mohican councils would also merge with Governor Clinton, Saratoga, and Sir William Johnson councils into the newly formed Twin Rivers Council. Camp Boyhaven would become a Cub Scout camp, and Camp Waukpamity would remain a Boy Scout camp. After these mergers, the new council did not have much money, so no major expansion occurred early on. The staff, of course, still managed to find ways to amuse themselves. Projects generally involved little or no expense. For example, the archery range was moved to its current location. Remember, this was the archery range shack from Stratton. It was now being moved to its fourth location, earning it the name MAR for Mobile Archery Range. Ham radio was added as an evening program. Chillicothe director Mark Marshall, along with many scouts and leaders, built the Dutch-style blockhouse at that program area. Also, I laid out, marked, and mapped the current trail system. With the closing of the camps, the number of scouts attending RSR eventually increased, however, and the financial situation improved. In fact, the camp was able to construct a full COPE course. Camp Ranger Joel Uline was the chief builder of this course. Fortunately, we had a bucket truck at this point. The original COPE course was located in the parking lot field north of the climbing rappelling tower. Events included a fidget ladder, a beam, a pirate's crossing, a multivine, a 3-line traverse, vertical playpen, and a giant's ladder. There was also a zip line from the climbing rappelling tower all the way down to the course itself. The dining hall roof and ceiling were also renovated to the way they are now. Other renovations at this location include the tables built by Joel Uline and the fireplace removal. One other source of funding also brought some other changes in the 90s. I attended Camp School's Rangers section and learned about other camps' alumni associations. This resulted in my creation of the Thunderbird Club. The Thunderbird Club allowed past staff members and other friends of the camp to directly contribute to camp projects. The first major projects were the construction of pavilions in Thunderbird and Tuscarora. The old rifle range shed, which had been serving as the Nature Center since 1985, was separated from the rest of the pavilion and moved to its current location to serve as the Nature Center. As an aside, a telescope was purchased for this new Nature Center location, but the post office accidentally delivered it to the wrong address. The pavilion portion was left in place for the new Thunderbird campsite. The pavilion collapsed, however, over the winter. The following season, new pavilions were put in. This was the start of putting pavilions in the campsites and some program areas, and with one exception, these were all funded by the Thunderbird Club. So, despite a period of financial difficulty, the camp continued to develop its program. In the next episode, we enter the Brian Murray Camp Director epic, which would begin in 2001. Until then.